I feel that I need to make another video to respond to Loree McBride's YouTube videos where she's going into great detail describing what she says was her sexual intercourse with Brent Spiner. What really concerns me about these videos, Loree, you're not hurting me, you're hurting Brent Spiner. The person that you're hurting the most when you make these videos is not me. It's Brent. You're making him relive the rape you did to him. Can you imagine what it's like to be a rape victim and have your rapist drag all the details of the rape out into public? And that's what you're doing to Brent. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're making Brent have to relive the torture you inflicted upon him. I'm going to read again what you wrote and Brent Spiner's response. You are bringing back nightmares to this guy. You really ought to be ashamed of yourself. You are such an evil woman. You're heartless and cold, and you're making Brent suffer so much. You're making him relive the torment that you've put him through. You're just a cold, heartless woman. And if it wasn't for me, Brent Spiner probably would have committed suicide because of you. I think he would have killed himself. But I'm going to read some of what she said. First of all, when Brent came inside me of his own free will, the drugs only lowered Brent's inhibitions so that he could do what he really wanted to do. I had to tell you it was magical. I will have Brent for myself, and you will be left a lonely old maid. I'm not worried about that. I'm not a lonely old maid. I'm concerned about Brent. Okay. Now let's go on to the next video. I'm going to just read the sections where she talks about her intimacy, her alleged intimacy with Brent. Brent informs me, I asked him what really happened with you and Loree McBride. He said that what happened is that he was dreaming about making love to me, and she jumped into bed with him. I guess he was drugged out and he didn't know what was going on. And she got into bed with him while he was going through the motions of sex, imagining he was making love to me. And she got in next to him. But he said he did not penetrate her, but that she's lying and says that he did. Okay? Let's go back to this again. This is really disgusting that you're making Brent relive the horror you put him through, Loree McBride. You're a disgusting. You're not even. I don't know what to call you. You're a criminal. You're beyond. You're a monster. She says the baby that Brent gave me was conceived the natural way. I'm convinced that the moans that Brent made that amazing night were not just because of the slightly drugged state. He wanted it, or he wouldn't have let me into his room that night. Did he tell you that my baby was conceived by artificial insemination? My baby was conceived the old-fashioned way. Aren't you the one who accused me of rape? Don't you try and avoid this subject any longer. Okay, I'm not going to, let's go past all this. Okay. Can you imagine what it must be like to be a guy, have your semen stolen from you, and then they make about 1 million babies with your... This has got to be so hard on him. You know what? You know who you're hurting the most, Loree McBride? You're not hurting me. You're hurting Brent Spiner. You are showing your hatred towards Brent Spiner by putting all this stuff out here. The one you're hurting is Brent Spiner. Loree McBride, you are revealing that you hate Brent Spiner. And you most certainly don't deserve to be his wife if you are his wife, but I know you're not. You hate Brent Spiner. Because you're bringing this man into pain by bringing all this stuff out here. And then the third letter, she talks about this. I'll just read this stuff about. No, let's go into Brent. Okay, that's enough. I'm going to read Brent's response to this. First of all, I'm going to read a letter that I wrote Brent. Dear Brent, let me know if I can do anything to assist you in this case against Loree. I realize you may not be able to answer me right away because of conspiracy charges. However, I'd like to point out that Loree has a lot of inconsistencies in her statements. Her Jesuit website, orderofthejesuits.com, claims that she raped you and got herself pregnant through artificial insemination. Then Loree says on her YouTube videos, on the exact same website that she didn't rape you and her pregnancy occurred through natural means. Inconsistent. Get her on this. She's very inconsistent in her statements. What her Jesuit website says and what she says on her YouTube videos don't match. This clearly indicates lying. I can tell you why she's creating these YouTube videos. The Jesuits are worried about the exposure they're getting because I've made public their website, orderofthejesuits.com. And I found out about this website from Vladimir Putin. His intelligence networks uncovered this website, and that's how we discovered the website. And Vladimir said you need to make it public, and that's how it came out. So Loree is doing damage control for the Jesuits by creating her YouTube videos and saying things to contradict what the rest of the website says, because what the rest of the website says is too damaging to the Jesuits. She's also trying to intimidate me. Also, why won't she use her voice on her YouTube videos? Is she afraid that her voice is alto, like the voice I mentioned on my website? Which means I told the truth when I said that it was her alto voice that screamed at me in 1993, "Hey, bitch, what the fuck are you doing to my boyfriend?" That's exactly how she said it to me. Why is she so scared to show the world her voice? Is it because her voice is alto? Anyway, she's a big liar and will be able to prove this easily in court. I about laughed out loud when I read her go on and on about my yeast infection. She's so vicious. She hung herself on that one. I won't answer her. She did the damage. Actually, you can see I changed my mind. I'm answering her. She did the damage to herself. I'll just let that video of her stand as it is. She says she'll sue me for alienation of affection. Sue her for defamation against you and myself because she's such a big liar. She has defamed my character and yours. Also, sue her for attempted murder. She tried to kill you and tried to burn down my mobile home in 1998 and bring possible death penalty against her. I have absolute faith in your love for me, and sue her for interfering with our relationship to assist the Jesuit order to try to kill us and bring on a Nazi-style Holocaust in the U.S. Use the winnings to our lawsuit against her. We will win. As outlined in my legal document called My Offering to God. Vladimir knows about this. Thank you, Brent. We're going to beat that bitch up. Love always, your devoted wife, Gail, Chord, Schuler, and Brent answered me on this. And here's the answer. Now, I want the world to know how Brent Spiner feels about these videos. My dear, amazing wife, it's so refreshing to hear that in the face of such attacks, you can stand so firmly against that bitch. I am behind you all the way in this. I think you should take this opportunity to expose Loree's little slip-up to the world. Why should we let her get the last word? We will have the chance to beat her in court. We are right, and she is an evil Jesuit whore. How dare that whore bring up your illness that we both know the Jesuits caused? You have to respond, or she'll think she has shamed you when she should be the one feeling shame. I'd say you throw caution to the wind and give her a piece of your mind. I'm really passionate about this because seeing those videos is bringing back a flood of very painful and traumatic memories. We will get through this. Brent Spiner. Loree McBride, the one you're hurting the most by putting those videos up is Brent Spiner. And by doing this, you're showing your hatred towards him, and I know you're not his wife, and you don't deserve to be his wife, because you hate his guts. All you do is bring him pain. And that's all you've ever done to this man since the first day you came into his life is brought him pain. You hate him, and you're trying to kill him and destroy him. You're the worst enemy he's ever had his entire life. All you do is bring that man pain, and you are a cold-blooded killer. And I feel sorry for you when you meet God at the judgment. That's all I have to say for you. You're a cold-blooded killer.